Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hey, if you have been with me for a while, if you were with me from last year, I had said that I was going to do some trapping stuff, and I did a little bit of trapping preparation, but I ended up hurting my hand about Thanksgiving last year, about this time of year, and I wasn't able to trap last year. So, I know it's deer season right now, but if you see that moisture on my head? It's hot. The wind's out the wrong direction. This is on a Friday afternoon. I got off early today. I had to work today because I didn't work the other day because I had to go with Miss Jenny to do some stuff about her mom. Anyway, I got off early. I thought about going hunting. It's hot. It's hot. The wind's out the wrong way that I need to go. I can go right here behind the house. I might put a little bit of a video in here and show you a buck that's right there. Right behind the house. He's a begging. But it's hot. The wind's wrong. All that. I ain't going. But I do. Let me show y'all something. See right there? See right there? That is my 30-06. I'm right here on my back porch. If he happens to cut across that little field right there and I see him, I'm probably going to shoot him. But I ain't going to go down in there hunting. It just ain't the day to do it. Alright? Anyway, I got a bunch of trapping stuff out, and I'm going to work on trapping stuff on the back porch here. I thought I'd bring y'all along and show you what I'm going to do. I'm just getting some stuff ready. Here in a couple weeks I am going to trap. And I will put a video right here. Y'all see that? That's a bobcat. You know where that's at? Right there. About 150 yards behind my house. I'm going to try to catch that bobcat. And I'll put some other video and some stuff right here. Yep, coyotes. Miss Jenny heard them right across the road from the house this morning, and they kind of scared her. She said, you got to get rid of some of them. So, I'm getting some stuff ready. I'm going to try to trap some this year. All right? Let me show y'all what I'm doing. I've also been getting like 4 or 5 raccoons at a time. Hang on a minute. I'm going to try something. All right, y'all. I got these Galaxy Bud Pros. I've had them for a long time. I've always said I was going to try them when I was videoing, when I was away from the camera, that kind of stuff. So we're going to try it today. I put them in. We're going to try to record this video with them. Anyway, let me show you all what I'm doing. Like I was saying, I've been getting like 4 big raccoons at a time on camera down here behind the house where I've been putting out some corn for deer. It's legal in the state of Kentucky to bait for deer, so I put some corn out trying to keep them around here pretty close. But I've been getting like 4 or 5 coons at a time down there, possums, all that kind of stuff. Well, all of that kind of stuff, they consider them nest predators, nest raiders for wild turkeys. Anyway, I'd way rather turkey hunt than I had deer hunt or anything else. So, we're going to try to get rid of some of that stuff. I know that them bobcats is hard on turkeys. We're going to try to get this bobcat. I'm sure there's more than one, but that one that I showed you on the video that I showed that I put in here, the neighbors have been saying they've been seeing some bobcats for 4 or 5 years. I had never seen any, had never had any on trail camera till last week, and I got that one. I think that's probably a big male. Don't know, but it's a big cat. We'll see. I'm going to try to catch him. Anyway, first thing I'm going to look at today are And I may have shown some of these last year, but these are called dog-proof traps. These are raccoon traps that are, some people call them coon cuffs, and I'll show you why in a minute. But, and of course, I'm going to pick one that's all tangled up. It's going to take me 10 minutes to get untangled and all that garbage. But let's see if I can get this crazy thing untangled. These have been set. I have caught. They haven't been set this year, and they weren't set last year because my hand was hurt and all that. By the time my hand got better, then because our trapping season goes through the end of February. By the time that my hand got better is when I had to have that emergency surgery for my gallbladder. So that took me completely out of trapping completely last year. So, but anyway, these have been set in the past. I have caught quite a bit of coons with them. Let me show you how they work. You see, it's a little cylinder type deal. You see the spring right here. Well, you mash that down and it goes through. I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not. It goes through the center of the camera. Well, what you do is you mash this thing down. You pull this trigger down here. Down inside of this, it's got a little bar in there. Well, these, the ones that I have, can either push or pull. So if the raccoon pushes in there and pushes on that, it'll set it off. Or if he grabs it and pulls it, it'll set it off. Okay? But what happens is, if you see this part right here, it goes all the way around. So it forms a circle in there. Well, what happens is, when they reach down in there and hit that, see that? It pulls that back. So if they got their arm down in there, it gets caught on that spring right there, and that'll hold them. Well, I take this cable, and usually I'll try to wrap it around a little sapling or something like that, but I've also got those earth anchors that I showed making last year that I can drive them in the ground if there's not a tree that's really handy. Anyway, dog-proof traps. They will catch the heck out of raccoons and possums and skunks. Well, I've caught several skunks in them, caught a bunch of possums in them, caught a whole bunch of raccoons in them. What I usually do, and there's better ways to do this, I know, this is just what I do. It's like Brother Justin says over at Spirit of the Outdoors. The best way to do things is the way you like to do them. So I'm going to do it the way I like to do it. This has worked for me, okay? I know that there's better ways. But I'll go to Walmart or wherever, dollar store, wherever, pick up a cheap bag of cat food, just dry cat food. Pour some cat food down in there, okay? And you don't have to pour very much. You just need to pour it to where it's just up to that trigger so they'll reach in there and hit that trigger, okay? Well, this, if you see this, I like the way these are made. I'm pretty sure these are Bridgers, I think. I can't remember now. But you see that plate on that? If you drive that down in the ground, then these don't turn on the ground. Well, what happens is a raccoon comes up there and smells it. If you know anything about raccoons, they use their front paws, their hands, to reach and get stuff all the time. Well, they'll reach down in there, trip that thing, boom, you got them. Okay? Then they'll pull this out of the ground, and they got the cable. They can do whatever they want to. Then you can walk up there and dispatch the coon and do whatever. Okay? I've got several of these. I have, I don't know, there's 6 or 8 in this bucket. And then I have some more over here in this milk crate. And yeah, they're all tangled up. They always get all tangled up. I try to keep them somewhat untangled, but that's almost next to impossible. And I have spray painted these just to try to keep them from rusting so bad, you know. But I've checked them all. They're all, the springs seem to all be okay. They're all working okay. I do have one that, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 years ago, it was cold as the dickens. When I'm talking about cold as the dickens, I'm talking about it was like zero, down into zero around for probably 5 or 6 days, maybe a week, whatever. I had this stuck in the ground. Well, if they're stuck in the ground at that kind of temperature, they're frozen in the ground. You can't get it out. That will give the coon way too much leverage if you do that. I saw some guys after that just set them and lay them on the ground, and the coon will come up there and reach them anyway. They don't have to be standing up, okay? But I was trying to get them out of the ground because I was going to pull them, because I wasn't going to trap, because it was so doggone cold. It was too cold for me to even fool with it. If you get that cold, them coons, they'll hole up in a tree somewhere or whatever, and they won't move. So there ain't no sense to try to trap them. In the state of Kentucky, you got to check traps every 24 hours. So I didn't want to do it. It was cold for me. There wasn't nothing moving, so I was going to pull them. And I kicked it, and I broke the thing off. So I got one that's broken. It'll still work. I can still set it. Right here it is. See there? I broke it big as heck. Well, when I broke that, the way that these are fastened so that you can put a cable or whatever on them was right here. Let me show you. See there? So now I don't have any way to attach it. It would still work. I don't know. I'll probably just end up keeping that one for a spare, just for parts if I have a trigger that screws up or something, because those got a little bolt on them. You can take them off, whatever. I can take the springs off, whatever. But I might just keep it for parts. But I've got several of those. I don't know. I got a dozen or better of them. And I'm not a big time trapper. I'm not trying to trap to make any money or anything like that, because there is no money really in trapping anymore. Not right now anyway. There's no money at all, hardly. I heard that skunks are bringing pretty decent money, but anyway, y'all, I'm just trying to go through some stuff. There's some shock springs that I had that I took off of some foothold traps, and I'll show you one of them in a minute. I took some shock springs off a foothold trap so that I could I was trying to catch beaver with them, and you don't really need the shock spring on there for a beaver, because I had them sit up on a drounder. They'd get caught and swim out in some deep water, and I got it to where I'll show you that at some point. Show you where they can't come back up the cable that I got out through there, and it drowns them. Anyway, you don't need these, so I took them off. Tell you something that I do when I set these. Not always, but I do sometimes. If I got enough golf balls, I'll do it. Mice or birds or whatever can get in there. Chipmunks will get in there and get the stuff out of there. If you put a golf ball on top, usually a mouse won't mess with it. A coon will just come up there and knock the golf ball off and get down in there. So I do that sometimes. Like I say, I'm just looking at different things, trying to get ready for some trapping. With the coyotes, with the bobcats, and here's a foothold trap like I use, y'all. That's called an offset, and this is a dogless trap that make it really easy to set. And I'll show you when I start setting these. I'll do some sets and make some sets on camera where you can see me making them and all that. But I was just looking at them, y'all. I got some turkey wings that I hang up so they'll flop around as a flagging deal for bobcats. Bobcats like visual stuff you get their attention with this, and then you do some other things, and I'll show you when I get ready to set some. Do some other things to try to attract them. You like flashy stuff with bobcats. Do all kind of crazy stuff. Anyway, y'all, I'm just out here getting some trapping stuff together and looking through it. I just figured I'd bring y'all along. I will be doing some trapping unless something happens that just unforeseen. If I get hurt or something like that again, maybe not. But my plans are I am definitely going to try to catch this bobcat or bobcats, whatever. And I'm going to definitely try to catch some coyotes around here. I've caught some fox right here before. Definitely going to try to knock the raccoons and the possums and the skunks and all that down. We'll see what happens. I plan on bringing y'all along and showing y'all some of this. We'll see what happens. All right. But until we see y'all again, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate everybody that comments. Anything anybody's ever done for the channel, I appreciate you. I wish we were in Ellaville this weekend. This is Ellaville weekend. We would have been driving down today, but we couldn't do that. Miss Jenny's mom is not doing well enough for us to leave, so we're going to stick around here. Anyway, y'all, going to take the youngest grandson deer hunting tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Anyway, if I kill a big one here in the next week or so, season's over next weekend. That's all. So we'll see. I'm going to try to hunt some more. We'll see what happens. Might try to hunt Sunday, which is 2 days from now. We'll see. Anyway, y'all, till we see y'all again, I appreciate you watching. And y'all have a great week. Have a great weekend. And God bless you.